right off the bat, let me check for other comments, just in case. I'm pretty sure I got them all. Yep, Alan was the last one to comment. And I have a list of people, so then we're going to go to... I'm sorry you're not seeing what I'm doing, but we're going to go to random.org. Okay, now I'll share my screen. List. There we go. List randomizer. All right, here is the list as per the most recent comments. Alan, Patrick, Jeff, Richard, Dennis, Dewan, Cube, Racing, Jeremy, Gary, Mark, Mr. Weber, Slot Journal, Garth, Phil, Mike, Jim, Alexis. Hey, Jim, you're not going to win. Alexis, Scott, Victor, Wong, Greg, Pick. Okay, so this is...
Greg, am I on there?
You know what? Maybe your comment got stuck away somewhere. Let's go check that.
Can you make him me? If I happen to win, it'd be Wayne. Be easier for you than redoing it.
Let's go double check those comments. I was getting my email, but you know, like I said, sometimes they
It was the first comment, I think, on the video.
Sure.
Actually, I think I vaguely remember that. I wonder if you did it just a smidge too soon. There it is, car fun mostly. Let me...
It's just my luck, this is. Slim Pickens turned even slimmer right there.
Oh, I managed to not select your name when I did the copy paste. So, well, re-copy paste. There you are, right at the end of the list. Get your chance to win. Wayne. Good job.
He wants to be the first.
He wants to be the first, so now he's the last. So what are the chances that he's going to go all the way to the top of the list? So we're going to do two. So instead of just picking the top two for the two, because we're giving away 2 Slot Invasion pinion press pullers. Hold on a second here.
You're going to randomize twice and get the same name at the top of the list twice.
That would be funny. But yeah, we're going to go. I'm going to randomize once, and then the first name is going to be the winner of the first one, and then I'll randomize again, and the first name will be the winner of the second one. So here we go. Randomize. Mr. Weber gets a new Slot Invasion, and he goes on my winners list.
Well done.
And then
Hard luck, Jim.
Let's see, where'd you end up? Oh, you're moving up the list. At least you're about halfway there.
13, lucky number.
All right, everybody, everybody
15.
cross their fingers for Wayne. He gets on the top of the list. No.
Oh, Jim.
No. So I'm going to randomize again. Jim already won a really nice tool. He's not getting another one.
Oh.
Jeremy, I don't think he's ever won anything. So yeah, I've said that in the past. The idea is to spread the love, not to give one guy a bunch of cool stuff.
What's wrong with that?
There's our winners.
Well done to the winners.
So Mr. Weber and Jeremy send an email to me, ggAUB@ggAUB.com. I'll go ahead and stick it in the web chat. And howdy to the people on YouTube. Okay, so let's get back on our normal schedule. Let's talk about slot cars show and tell. Who's got show and tell? I hope it's Gio and Anders. So Gio, take it away.
Okay, so I'm not gonna do any what's called the
You're not going to compete
corner.
with
Yeah, I'm not not racing this week because I'm teaching. But I've been receiving some new cars. Not new. I mean, this has been kind of sitting around in Australia for a while, but finally they got over here. So we have a bunch of Scalex cars. So the BTTC and the Back to the Future and the Aston Martin GT3. By the way, this Aston Martin, I have my own version with done with a sideways body. So it's still a cool car. Then I got another couple of the Thunderstorm muscle cars. So these are gonna race with the other one, the green one that I got. And basically, I think it's gonna be out of the box without doing much fiddling except putting a chip. Then another bunch of Polycast slash slotted. So some of the Sunoco one is kind of a new release, I think. The little polycar Ferrari here is really lovely car. I think Dennis show a much better close up of it. So I hope that they will release other cars that will go with this one, because it's a pity if it's gonna be just a one-off.
86, 85 or something like that. Ferrari.
Yeah, I don't know which one exactly it is, but it's
Yeah,
So it's a juvenile.
That's Didier
82,
Pironi. I
aren't
think. Well, no, they're bringing out a Villeneuve as well, but I think it's in a special box.
Is that the car that Stefan Lilleves drove?
That's
Anybody know?
that was the car that won the world team championship for Ferrari, and they went through 4 drivers in '82.
When was that?
1982. And the rear
82.
wing
Okay,
is.
Lilleves was in 84, I think.
Sorry, say again?
No, and Stefan Lilleves drove 84 or 85, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. That's right. Yeah, no. 82 was Villeneuve, Pironi, Tom Bay, and Al.
Yeah, and was Andretti into it too?
Sorry, say again?
Was Andretti into the race?
He did. That's right. He did.
race?
He did a 1 or 2 off. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Monza and some more races, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they won the constructors that year. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so back to show and tell. To 132nd Carrera, so the M4 GT3 and the GT2 KTM X-Bow, I think. So I don't know what the heck is going on, because nobody, I think only Carrera is making like a couple of GT2 cars. So, but there are some very cool cars, including the Maserati MC20. I think there should be more GT2 cars coming, because it's kind of a cool class. So Carrera does this one, the KTM, also the Porsche. It would be nice to have more.
Yeah, the KTM is really cool, but I haven't seen one in the United States. Has anybody gotten one?
From Carrera, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it should be coming. This is a kind of, I think I got from,
they're available.
They should be. It should be on. And it's actually again the picture does not make it justice. It's a very cool livery, this one.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
Cool.
It's really bright Dago orange. It's really pops.
Of course, that's an adaptation to go GT2 racing, because the original Crossbow was an open top car.
But I think they were also racing this one. They've done like they had a special class in the 12 hours Mont Panorama here in Australia. So they had like a version of this car as well of the KTM, but it was not the GT2. So now this has been adapted. So, which I think makes a more robust car. That was almost like a go-kart kind of. So it's a pretty cool car. So let's see. So then a bunch of 124s, so the DTMs and a couple of GTLM cars on the back there. The Corvette, it's really, really sweet. I think Carrera did a much better job with this gray livery than what Scalextric has done in the 132nd version of this car. And the DTMs, the orange one, the Mercedes here, it's a really cool livery as well. Again, picture them they're not really make it justice. So this is a close by. So this one, it's a Carrera body with a metal chassis. I don't know what is it. Say again?
What chassis is that?
I don't know. So these are basically
it's a Corvette, I think.
What do you think is it?
Lafite.
Could be.
It's a 124.
Yeah.
I think it's a Lafite.
So this one I kind of got from Pendle. So they have sometimes like 124 cars that have been prepared by one of I think the member of the track club, and I think
car?
So
do you know that?
I'm not 100% sure, but I know that they told me that usually the guy called Ted something. Ted M is the kind of username that they have on slot forum. So, but I don't know exactly who the guy is.
And the body is a Carrera or is a Fujimi?
No, Carrera.
Carrera. Yeah.
And I have so also on the side I have a bunch of other cars from this guy, and they go really well. So I think he knows what he's doing, and I'm using them as a basis for learning how to do my own ones as well. At one point, I bought a bunch of kits that I have to convert, because I never seen, and we don't raise this stuff over here. I don't know anybody raising this kind of hard body with a metal chassis around here. So
that's nice.
Kind of cool. Yeah, and they go well. I've tested them. Yeah, so on Carrera track.
What is the rear tire of them? PU? Puritan tires?
No, rear sponge.
Look like Puritan tires.
The front. But the rear is sponge.
And the rear?
Sponge.
Is sponge. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And also these are BRM Alpha, so I think this is one of the last releases as well. So these are two ones. Bunch of white kits. I don't know when I'm gonna build them. And more recently around so in New Zealand there is a kind of eBay type of website called Trade Me, and sometimes usually it's pretty slow. People put a lot of crappy kind of slot car things. Mainly kind of very old that show, but sometimes you get a bit of cool stuff. So I got these two
EPS. Young players special.
Yeah.
Nice.
JPS liveries. So
nice.
They are quite So I like these and the Schnitzer is my favorite, group 5 cars. When I was in the analog, I put one together, was really going well. So it's a nice car.
It's a BMW, I think.
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah, it's an M1. Yeah, it's a
Porsche. Next one is 935 baby, I think.
Moby Dick.
Yep, Moby Dick. Yep.
Yeah. And so I think that's all. So now I don't know where I'm gonna put them together with all the others. So just sitting in a box.
But the Ferrari is very interesting. You show. It was the car that was driving on Daytona 1970. Mario Andretti drove that car.
Very cool.
Yeah, I was looking for some of those Carrera cars. Especially the Ferrari.
They were top qualified for the race, but Porsche hadn't showed the issue they had in the cars before the race. So they pause them and leave them under a race.
Thank you for the show and tell, Gio. And it looks like Anders has his hand up. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, sure. Well, can you hear me, I guess?
Yep.
Hi, I'm Anders. First time here. So I think I maybe have a short presentation of myself.
If you would like to, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm maybe better known to some of you as Rasemenas on Slot Forum. I've been member that since 2005. Made, I think, 250 posts. That's probably what you do in a month, Greg. And what Gio does in a week.
I thought in a day.
Yeah, or no, maybe I don't know. Oh, okay, I usually write by more say technical and stuff and RMS stuff. But I, as many of you, started with slot cars when we were young. I was born in '63, turning 60 later this year. Had a slot cars then as a young teenager in the mid and end of '70s, and then raced slot cars against this guy.
I know him.
This is we talked about Lil Lewis a few minutes ago. This is I think still Sweden's. As probably can hear on Max.
He is the biggest one,
biggest one in Sweden, and actually raced slot cars against him twice when he was doing promotions for slot cars.
Where did you do that?
In Gothenburg, in Leksakshuset, and on Ferrari.
Okay.
Wow, that's awesome. Oh, hold on, that's signed too.
Yep, it's signed here.
Oh man,
this must be
that with the Electric.
Yeah, we were doing promotions for us.
Yeah.
Did he at least give you a polar bar that you probably still have in the freezer?
No, no, he didn't. But I talked to him, and he was much better than I was, because he was sitting there driving all the day against us young teenagers, right? But it was pretty fun to talk about. So, and we showed some, Polycast cars. This is sure if it's what we see here, but it's one that it came out, I think, about at least advertised 2 years ago.
What car is that?
That is
it's a Lotus 72, right?
Yeah, it's
Emerson's and Ronnie's cars, or is it Rainer Wiesel's?
No, this is Ronnie's.
That's Ronnie's car. Yeah, that's Ronnie's car.
Yeah.
So when Mauricio from Slot IT presented this in a YouTube video, I think it was 2 years ago, he said that this car didn't need any further presentation, and that was a little bit extra true to me. So that means a little bit extra to me.
Very cool.
Yeah. So time goes by, of course, and I grew up and have a family with 3 kids, and they of course needed a slot car track, and or 2 or 3. So around 2005, I joined a slot car club, an analog club in Gothenburg, and got an Inco track, and then sort of got into actually writing software for the RMS programs for slot cars. So that is let's say never-ending story I have. So we should keep it short here. But what I'm trying to do is to write some thing where you can have a multi-track system, multi-user, and multi-device and everything. So, but that takes a lot of time to do. But so I'm trying to find little ways of how can I actually be helpful in a way to the community before I finish my never-ending project. And one little way of doing this to help other RMS developers and try to understand what actually going on more on the lower technical side. So this is one demonstrated very shortly, but this is one little. Let's see if I can share my screen as well. That will even better, I guess. Have I shared my screen now, or?
You should be able to.
So, okay, there.
There we go.
So okay, here we are. So, so this is a little utility we're working on. Wrote a little bit on Slot forum. This is actually a little utility to explore if you run an oxygen and want to understand a little bit more of actually going on behind your RMS. It's good for other RMS developers, or if you are an Oxygen super user like Greg or G or someone else that wants to understand a little bit more of what actually going behind the scenes here. It's not that much different compared to, let's say, the official Chrono RMS from slotted, because it's more or less a wrap around the protocol. But there are a few things there which is a little bit special, and we'll write to that a little bit on slot form later on. But just to demonstrate a few things there, one thing that slotted has is that it has a loop when you program it, where you send data to from the PC or wherever you have to the dongle, and then you wait a little bit, and then you send another command in a never-ending loop, and you need to wait a little bit there. And this is one thing that you then can use this tool to explore to optimize that thing. And it comes to then, okay, how good are the response times you get when you get data from the oxygen dongle? So we can see here in milliseconds how quick my two controllers are connected here respond. The typical thing would be to, okay, don't send things as often as possible. But what happens then is that the dongle actually more or less chokes. It doesn't send any data more often than every second. So you need to give it a little bit breathe room, and then it's getting a bit better. But it's still pretty stable even on short intervals. If I turn quickly here.
Is this based on 3.0?
Yep, it is.
And that will change by 4.0.
I will update this when the Oxygen 4 protocol is released, the documentation for it and everything. Then I'll of course update it to that version. So I'll turn on all my 8 Oxygen controllers. Sorry, I don't have any more than that. But we can see there, if we try to transmit it too often, then the response times are pretty actually low. If I actually try to, or maybe it's hanging there. Yeah, something happened. But then the response times will be a little bit better. See here if that still is live. It's a few other data that you can see as well. We won't go through that, but at least here we can see that I have a little quick practice session where you can run this as a small little RMS. And let's turn off a few of these controllers again so we get it more shown on the screen at the same time. This screen will adopt here if I change the size of it. And it will adopt also if I have fewer controllers. The interesting thing with this is they're actually running on Mac OS. And of course, this doesn't change anything to do with the current running Oxygen on Windows PC, and that works as fine as it ever has. But this is more to demonstrate and encourage people that are, let's say, a younger generation developers that want to use Mac, to get them on board and show how actually easy it is to get RMS up and running on Mac OS. And it should actually be possible to run it on an Android tablet as well.
So Anders, so these software that you have here, it's only for Mac? I mean, you don't have it for Windows?
Yeah, so this little program will be released for give me a week or two to document it.
Okay.
But it will be for Windows, for Mac OS, and for various version of Linux. Just to demonstrate that, okay, well, this Oxygen cannot only run on Windows, it can run on Mac OS and Linux as well.
Cool.
Awesome.
If I wrote correctly, it was onto 6 cars?
It use in a number of cars, but it's not really an RMS. It can use 20 cars if that's possible.
Okay.
But this is more a tool from me as a developer to other developers. It's not a real RMS per se, but more to encourage, okay, if you are an RMS developer, to find out the tiny little but important details. So if you write your own stuff. And hopefully this will encourage, for example, a person that is writing here we have it's smart race. If we can encourage people like that to do a port of what they do in production, shouldn't be hard. But they need to understand
So, Anders, you're gonna release also the source code of this stuff that can be integrated in someone else RMS, so that you can.
Yep, it's actually already here. So if you would go to GitHub and go into Rust Manager and this little project and go to develop branch, and you can do it right now, then you will actually find the source code to it.
And what are you using as a code?
It's
a programming language. Sorry,
it's a tool called Flutter, which is a multi-platform tool. It can make apps for iOS, for Android, for Windows, for Linux, and for macOS. Probably forgot, and for Chromebooks as well. In this case, of course, it needs to support a serial port, which you can do on a desktop and a Chromebook. You cannot do it on an iOS Android device, but you can actually do it on an Android tablet. So if I haven't got it to work fully, probably it will work with a 4.0 dongle, but doing that is in an Android tablet running upstream. That should be possible. I haven't verified yet.
Oh man, this is excellent. This is excellent. Yeah.
So this is just to encourage developers, do my part in the community that way. Yeah, I can talk of this forever, but I think I better stop there as a first introduction. Otherwise, we'll take over the whole meeting. I have a few other questions.
It would be really nice if we could have like maybe a show and tell of 1 hour just talking about something like this.
Yeah.
If we could
I want to
developers.
take the first hour for this. I'll come back later in the session here with other RMS related questions, but it's not belong to there. So,
we can always circle back on it if we have extra time later on. So yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, sure. Thank
and
you.
It's already on GitHub and everything. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for that presentation. And Mark has something to show and tell. Go ahead, Mark.
Right. Haven't really been, I've been buying a lot of cars over the last few months, but nothing really extraordinary. I mean, a lot of the newer cars, they come out same as, everybody else. But I did pick this one. A postman brought this one yesterday. It's an oldie but goodie, but it's one that I had not had a chance to get. I wasn't smart enough to buy them when they were, easily available. It's an old power slot, but it sold as used. I got a pretty good deal on it, but it's seen very little track time. But yeah, I'm spending a lot of my time now trying to fill holes and things I wanted to buy, but never got around to it. So I spend time on eBay and other places. But yeah, that's all I got for today.
That's really cool. When was that one released?
Oh man, it's gotta be probably over 10 years ago, I think. I don't know.
Is that a slotted format pod or is that their own pod?
Oh man, I don't know.
It looks like
it looks a bit like Avant slot type of pod.
Yeah, I was listening to Electric Dreams podcast, one of them, the last couple. And he had one of the I don't know, it's the guy who owns who runs SRC or Scale Auto. But apparently he, at one time when he first started out, he was working power slot. And this was one of the cars he mentioned. And I recognized it, but it's got to be at least probably a dozen years old, I think. So,
is that a McLaren?
It is a Lola. It's a P298.
Okay.
Yeah, it's orange, but yeah, a little bit different. It has a really flat wing. It's a pretty car.
Well,
and actually,
Mark, you're just lucky you have some holes to fill. Most of us have too many mounds, and we're trying to make holes.
Well, all I collect, I mean, basically are Le Mans cars, like from early to mid '60s, classic Le Mans, GTP, cars, stuff like that, and then modern LMPs. I mean, I don't do Formula One or rally or really American cars, and not because they're not nice cars. I can't afford to buy everything. So I have to focus, and I focus, but I still have a lot of cars out there I'd like to get. So now I've got to the point where now I can, as far as the new cars, like some of the hyper cars and stuff, I can just now get them as they come out. But I've still got some older ones, more obscure ones I'd like to get.
And that was obscure.
Pretty much.
Okay, cool. Thanks for showing that off. Brian has had his hand up for a while. Do you want to go ahead, Brian?
Sure. Well, it was another slot car show in St. Louis last weekend.
Oh, great. And, now we get to see all the awesome cars Brian got for 10 cents.
No, not quite. Dewan might have an idea of what's going on, but let me do this. So, I've been talking a while about picking up some Ravel Track, and I found a gentleman there, and I picked up a little bit. This first one you see here, the box he did some spray painting on it, but this is the Laguna Seca set with all the Ravel Track in it.
That box, Brian, the box can be saved if you're really careful with it, by the way.
Well, but the thing is, I didn't buy it for the box, to be honest with you. I wanted the track.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay. I mean, it's not that I will continue to trash the box, mind you. The cars were here. It was a Corvette and a Ferrari.
Yeah. I'll take the box.
The other set here, as you can see, is the Gran Turismo Raceway. And again, now I don't have an inventory sheet, so I don't know if everything is in here, but I have no reason to believe it isn't. You see, there are the cars from the other set, actually.
Oh, so you got cars as well. Whoa! By the way, if you need glass for that Ferrari, I've got a mold. I've got some I can ship to you.
I think it's right there.
Oh, no, that's the Corvette.
No, that's a Corvette.
All right. So that was 2 sets.
I love how he recognized it in less than a second. He's like, boom, nope, Corvette.
Yeah, the Corvette was there. Oh, the Corvette was there.
The high bank set. And again, I think it's all there. This is a miscellaneous box, mostly some busted up borders, a transformer.
Sorry, Brian, can you go back? Did you get the cars with the high bank set as well?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. The one thing you got to watch with those cars, the bodies tend to shrink a little bit in the back. Yeah. Especially the Firebird. But wow, they look great.
Firebird was okay. The Cougar, not so much.
Oh, geez.
But again, I didn't buy for the cars. I bought for the track. This box also has some old 124 scales in it.
That looks like a K&B. It looks like an Aurora there. Yeah. Oh, what the heck? Oh, what the heck is that?
I think that's a custom of some sort.
Yeah, it's like a chaparral body of some sort. Oh, wow.
From the Space Invaders.
It had some borders in it. So that was the 3 sets in the miscellaneous box. Hang on just a sec.
But wait, there's more.
So
it was a box of straights.
Whoa.
Oh, you're really cleaned up.
Oh my God.
I think I see
all the sets.
I think I see drool on Dewan's lens.
I think Dewan's moving to St. Louis.
These 3 boxes, these are each a set of banked curves, complete sets. Over here, I was doing this for size comparison. There's another complete set of banked curves. These, I'm not even sure if they've ever been used.
Well, Brian, no disrespect to your Skeletrix track, but now you own a real slot car track.
Well, that was kind of the idea. Well, some of these look a little used. Interesting about these have a slightly greenish tint to them color-wise.
I think I know a guy who can help you with that.
Yeah. Well, I think they're made that way. And this seems to be a combination of 64, 65, 66. Because here's another piece of that. You can see the color difference. These are just some other curves.
The plastic
Dwayne,
predates the EPA.
Yeah, but Brian, that stuff's wider. That stuff's got a border built onto it.
That's
it also has extra borders that add about another 1.5 inches. I would say most of it is what Dewan would classify as B grade, maybe some C. I mean, this is about the worst I've seen.
That's a C. That's a C level.
Now, but hang on. But it looks like all the tabs are intact, though.
Most of them. There are some broken tabs. This was in that shape too, and that was just like a quick 2 minutes with a Scotch-Brite. So, is it perfect? No, but I'm thinking probably 70% of this will be savable. He had a list of everything that he had, and I thought he put it in the box, but he said there's 225 pieces of track total.
Nice.
And then
how much did you pay for it?
Then the other thing, hang on, we'll get there.
Wait, there's more.
1350 plus cab fare.
Well, this is an interesting one. I don't know if anybody's familiar with this. This is actually a Lionel track set. Which my dad worked for Lionel. I don't ever remember this set, but there's one of the cars from it.
Giant HO cars.
Well, they have small wheels.
I had one of their HO sets. This is my first set. It was an HO set.
You say that, but there's that piece of track laying on top of scale electrics.
Yeah, no, I said giant HO cars.
Yeah,
that's really close to. Yeah, wow.
What else? Yeah, there's another body in there, but it looks, I don't see how they actually, the tracks go together. There's got to be some sort of pin system.
I was going to say, if it's Lionel, it's probably some kind of pin, yeah.
They used pins.
The HO set had these little steel pins that went in.
This box, yeah, like the old Auroras, but they use that U-shaped clip in the middle to hold them together. It's an old cheetah body.
Oh, that's a Cobra Daytona coupe, and it looks like.
You're right. I'm sorry. You're right. Cobra Daytona.
It might be Auto World. Be careful with it. Be careful.
Mr. Rosa.
250 TR.
D-type.
D.
Yeah, that's a short nose D. Yeah. Being a long nosed old man, I know that it is. Yeah.
So that was, and the reason I said Dewan might have an idea is I joined his Facebook group this weekend. So,
Yeah.
but yep, that was my score for the weekend.
What I like from the story, is the same story as my wife goes shopping and she spent 1,000 euros.
Well, I did actually have to hit the ATM to get more money than I brought, but I paid $250 for all of it.
What?
That's
Get out of town.
So I don't know. I mean, Dewan would know better than I do if that's a good deal. I felt it was, considering I've been looking to upgrade from the scale electrics. The guy was asking 300. I asked him. I did a lap. I said, came back. I said, so what's your best price? He said, well, make me an offer. And I said, well, I don't want to insult you. And he said, well, all I can do is say no. I said, how about 250? He said, done. So $250 for all of it.
That's amazing. And plus you got some packaging with it and cars. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic.
He said these are, and again, some of it, has some broken tabs on it. This obviously a used set of the bolts, but I think this will clean up pretty nice. Are the rails going to be sparkling clean on all of it? No, but even this here.
They will if you follow Dewan's instructions on how to clean it.
I was gonna say, I bet you Dewan can make them just look great.
I used Dewan's technique on this. I didn't maybe devote quite as much time. I have a couple straights here that I did do. Let's see if I can. Now, some of the track, I've looked like this piece. If you look at it, somebody's cleaned this before, but he sanded it to the point where there's no texture left on the track.
Oh,
But I
Yeah.
didn't see many pieces like that.
Did
I
you
did
get
do
any,
one.
did
I
you
don't
get
know where I
any,
said it now.
21
It had a dented rail on it, so I actually tried Dewan's technique on it just to see. This was the very first one. You can see the dents. I mean, that cleaned up pretty well.
I think
That
Dewan had
cleaned
a
up.
question.
Sorry, yeah, go. Sorry.
I was just wondering, did you get any 21-inch radius curves as well? Oh yeah, that's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
one.
Yeah, those are mainly in the sets.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's nice. Nice.
And what got me about the 21s is my mind is backwards. See, I would think a 21 would be a bigger piece of track than a 14. That is not the case.
No, it's the radius.
Yeah, I've got the more than here on the table.
If you look at the size, is it bigger than Carrera?
Yes.
No, it's a little bit small. No, a little bit smaller than
No.
Carrera.
Smaller than Carrera.
It's 3.5
a
inch.
single piece, though, is a little different. So, for example, this is what they call a 21.
Right.
This is what they call a 14. You can see physically the 14 is a bigger piece of track.
Take two of those 21s, put them together, and it goes on the backside of the
Right.
14.
So
Yeah,
what's interesting
an
about
R3
the
and an R2.
geometry, though, is the 14-inch radius tracks are in 30-degree increments. No,
60.
60.
No.
So 3 of these to make a 180.
Yeah.
And the only way you can make a 90 using a 14 is you have to add a 21. So a 21 and a 14 will give you a 90.
No, you want to use they have a half 14.
Well,
They're
this is
rare,
what
they're very
with what I
rare.
have on
Hard to
hand,
come by.
to make a 90-degree turn, I got to use a 14 and a 21, which is fine. It's fine, but you know, when you're first pulling these pieces out of the box and you're trying to make a 180, and like it's kind of their design decisions on the radius they put on their tracks.
Talk to me a little bit later privately, but there's the half 14 inches that make the 90s, and the half 14 inches are extremely rare. They used to cost, I think, $1, but now you probably pay as much as $50 for them because they're so rare.
See, you might, but I would.
It's the same it's the same geometry as Carrera, obviously different lane spacing, but Carrera went with 30 and 60 degrees rather than other track systems that use 45 and 22.5 degrees. Embrace it, learn to love the 60 and 30 and 15-degree things because they give you a whole different kind of layout.
Correct.
So just forget everything about
It's workable, but you just got to think a little bit differently about it. And what was interesting is if you use 3 of the 21s, it's basically the same radius as an R3 scale electrics. I got 3 of them out here. I thought I did. Now you can see there's 2 of them, and the third one gives you the same radius as a scale electrics at R3. So using that and a 14 and a 21, it's pretty darn close to that curve. Not having used the half curves. Where I'm concerned is I have one half straight.
That's what I'm saying. Don't try to replicate your existing layout with that stuff. Just scrap the old layout.
Oh no, I've already done it, and I came really close. I would just need a couple half straights, and I think I might know a guy.
Yeah.
He's not letting those go.
But I can also make some.
I was gonna say with all the track you have, you might be able to just make one yourself.
Like this is a cracked piece here. I may be able to use this end.
I just posted some notes on how to do just that this earlier this week. I make your own custom sizes. So I made 1/3, 1/4, and the straights as well as 1/2 straights and half curves.
So I know a guy who might be able to hook me up.
Well, also, Brian, could you also 3D print one?
No.
Too big.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I could. My printer would handle it a half size wise, but it wouldn't be worth it. I do say I think their connection system. I don't like it. I think it's overkill. It's difficult to deal with. It's very easy to break pieces off if you're not careful.
Very much so.
I'm also going to found, I think you need to spend time where the connection is with a toothbrush, cleaning that out really well to make sure the pieces go together. I mean, I saw you with your pliers. I watched your videos, Dwan, so I know what you were talking about. I love the track. I'm not sure the connection system, I think, wasn't the best.
Yeah, the
First
connections were.
generation.
Sorry.
It
Sorry,
was
go
the
ahead,
first
Dewan. I'm
generation-
sorry.
I would say it was a first generation connection system like that of its type, and it's considered overkill by today's standards by far. But yeah, there's ways of protecting them and saving those tabs if you do it properly.
Yep, I just found I've just been being careful. Some are harder than others. Those bank curves are a blast to try to connect, especially when you get 3 or 4 of them. Once you start getting them together, they get harder and harder to get the pieces together. So like you suggested, in some cases, when I build the track, it's going to be best to put things together in segments and then go ahead and connect the segments, so, but I'm excited. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I downloaded his software, the track planner software, and I actually did come very, very close to replicating my track in it. I just wanted to see if it could be done. I don't know that I'll go with that design because I might like to do some loops and things of that nature. My son really liked the Batman track. He was thinking maybe if we made it just a 2-laner, we might be able to copy that, but might be a little big for an 8x16 table, but we might be able to scale it down. I don't know. We'll see. I still got to come up with my power taps and everything else yet too. So decide how I want to do it.
Oh, Brian, wait till you try monogram track, then you'll be hooked.
Get him another whole track system.
You want to buy some Ravel there, John?
9x20 is what you need for your Batman.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, Brian, wait till you try monogram track, then oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, looking forward to seeing that track come to life.
Welcome aboard to the old school.
Yep. Let's give
I
Big
figured
Den some
worse comes
time.
to worse, I can always paint it.
Yep, that's always true. Let's give Big Den some time. Go ahead, Big Den.
Oh, look, I'm just shattered. How do I follow that? Give me a break, Brian. I've been here singing the words of the old Easy Beat song, "Show Me the Way to St. Louis." Crikey. Right, okay, so just a little on the show and tell, nothing too elaborate this week, just a follow-up on something from last week's show when people were talking about body mountings and things. So I just grabbed out a few bits and pieces I had around the place. And hang on. I don't know what's going on here now. Let me unshare because I've got some stupid. I don't want to leave the meeting. Let me just said the screen sharing was paused, so I'm going to start again. Share and try take 2. Okay, so I've showed my Ford Sunliner some months ago as a project I was working on, but last week people talked about body mounting, and one of the things Phil mentioned was this little 3D printed item with 4 feet, which I've used 4 little tabs on it. Which will help stabilize it when you glue it to the body. I think they are ones that Phil printed out for me, so I think he said they were on Thingiverse or something like that. So that's just another look at that. So you can see that. Now at the rear of the body, I've used something a little bit different, and it's just a piece of square plastic tubing. I find with that they might weigh a little bit more, Wayne, but they give you a good stable platform so that you've got two mounting holes, two mountings that are lined up with one another. Because the body slopes up a bit, you'll see I've just used a little bit of plastic there as a filler to level it up. And yeah, that was a blurred vision of the previous one. Now these were a little 2-point mountings that a local chap produced. I got off him about 3 years ago. They were for a particular couple of cars that he was making a 3D printed chassis for. I think one was the Scar Electric Series 1 Escort, and the other was the Scar Electric XR3i. But I've always thought that if I needed to put them wider apart, I could just cut them in half and space them out. So they were a handy little thing. I have used a couple in anger, so I'll just go on. So there's just a picture of some of the different styles of square, different sizes of square or rectangular plastic tubing you can use for body mount. That's a 90-degree angle piece of plastic, which I have used for certain applications. So this isn't scintillating stuff like Brian's presentation, but it's all useful stuff for people who need to find solutions that maybe they don't have at the moment. This is the previously mentioned Ford XR3i, and you'll see at the front there's one of those 2-point body mounting systems just glued in. At the back, this little mounting actually fits into the gap in the back of the body that the original Scar Electric chassis used to hold it in. There was only front screws. The back just held in by the chassis fitting into the hole in the back of the body, which I may be able to show you. That's the front mounting again.
Yeah, the chassis had the number plates mounted on the back, didn't they? And they popped into the hole.
Yeah, and that was it there. So that mounting that the other Brian from Tassie made some years ago just fits in the back of there, and it's got the screw on the other side. And back to the start. So that was just a very quick one from me. There was one other point. There was one other point I was going to make. Someone was talking about information on the KTM crossbow, the Carrera one. If you look for the Conquest Racing Club videos, he's got a couple of reviews on both the orange one and the red one. I like the look of it. I was nearly going to buy one, but because they've got these clamshells, split bodies, I just couldn't be bothered around. I like the look of them, but just with the 2-piece body that Carrera uses, I just couldn't be bothered with it. So
yeah, and for those in the US, Mark on YouTube says that Professor Motor has the Expo in stock if you're wanting to get one.
Yeah. Okie doke, folks. That's a quick one. Might get back to you in Club Corner.
All right. Thank you, Big Den. Does anybody else have any show and tell they want to do before we switch topics? Krister, go ahead. You need to unmute yourself. I had to mute you earlier because you were making noises.
New car from me. Bizzarini.
I'm waiting for John to chime in with what kind of car it is and tell us all about the history of it.
Oh, it's a Bizzarini.
Bizzarini.
Yeah, Krister said, sorry.
Bizzarini, Le Mans 1966.
Sorry, I was probably coughing at the time.
Chevrolet engine.
Yeah, exactly.
Bizzarini sounds Italian, is that correct?
And the body is Macanimas chassis. Very, very lovely car. I've started to work with some 50 cars, and Ferrari 500 TRC from I think 58, 57 or something like that. Building to a friend to me. It's going to be a chassis from Dieter Jans Gary Racing. Very lovely car.
Big
Body is from Pete Swars in Germany. He have stopped produce cars today.
Can you go a closer look for the driver?
What?
For the driver's seat. I love that.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's beautiful. It's a really pretty car.
Well, coming a bit later on from me is also from Pete Swars. I was in Pendeslot Racing and bought this car 2006, and it's Aston Martin DB R1, and I'm building this one, and it's also from the 50s, Carol Shelby. Also a very nice car.
No.
No?
Yes.
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 I love these cars from the 50s. I do. It's
I understand.
Yeah. No, I bought it in a, I think it was a auction we had with Sean and the guys in Pendle 2006 for children that are sick, and make my day or something like that. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was an auction. I bought that and some other things when I went over to England 2006. So only that's for me.
All right. Thank you for sharing. Always beautiful cars.
Thank you.
And Henry and Alan put their hands up. Go ahead, Henry.
I feel a little bit embarrassed at the moment because I saw make you so beautiful stuff in your drawing, and I see people making RMS software. So it's quite simple.
The tire cleaner.
Yeah, 9-volt block in it, and we all have the same problem when we dry on the track, and we dry on the dust or marbles. You put your car on, put them on it, and in 3 seconds your tire is clean. So that's it.
Yeah, quick and easy. Are you gonna? I assume, are you selling those or sharing the plans for other people?
First, I'm gonna make better because now it's a 9-volt block in it, and I want to make a draw in it, and so you can put in an extra bit. And we're going to first try it with when we are doing races, if it actually helps, and because when I see people with a wooden plank or with a roller, it takes ages. And I've tried it, and in 3 seconds I had my tires cleaned. So that's it.
They were using boards. They were using boards with double-sided tape at the race at Electric Trees.
Yeah,
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Oh,
go ahead.
So how do you do to change the cleaning material, the roller that you have on the cleaner?
Well, that's quite simple. You see the roller, you take them out. And in this case, it's double-sided tape, but you can use your preferred tape if you want to.
So you have like a lot of tape over there that you can just peel out.
Sorry?
Yeah, you'd want to have multiple layers so that you can just peel during a race. You can just peel one off.
How many tape do you use in a race?
Well, I don't. when I'm using the roller, I don't clean my tires a second time on top of the dirt.
Yeah. But you can print. I can print 10 of them if you want to. It doesn't matter. But I think I have it for one race of 80 minutes. I don't want to clean my tires every stint. So.
Yeah, but if it's going to appeal to the hardcore racers, You're going to need to. So, would it be possible to find some kind of low-cost lint roller that could then have the handle removed and put the spool onto your machine? So basically, a lint roller.
Yeah, I've seen them in the store, like John Weber has.
Yep.
What I do find it, because if you
well, there you go, quick and easy.
No, if you take that one, you're kind of stuck with the material they make.
True.
You're stuck with that brand of lint roller.
Yeah, maybe the size, and also with the type of. All kinds of people prefer a different tape.
Oh yeah, that's
good point.
I know the one they use black one, gray one for all sort of fabrics. So they have the preferred, and that's why I took this one. You can stick on your preferred tape.
Yeah.
Because I think I thought about the another idea, but I also wanted to be handy for in one hand. So the other one is much bigger that you showed from John Weber. So it has to be in one hand. It has to be quick and dirty. Put them on, put them off, and go. Then you're having a win in time.
Yeah.
So you're on about using that during a driving stint, yeah?
Usually, you either you're pulling your own car off to do it, or you have a teammate that you pull your car off in front of, and then they grab the car, clean the tires, and put it back on.
Yeah.
That's what was happening at Electric Dreams.
But when you're using a roll of tape, it's this. So 8 seconds is nothing. And then you lose a lap. So I come with the idea, and I'm going to use it with the races I'm getting to. And like if you drive on an Inco track, I don't think it's any use.
Yeah. For a wood track or other smooth track.
Then you win some time. So let's see how the product goes and how it. Let's trial and error.
Yep, let us know.
Well, Henry, you'll know it's really effective when they ban it.
Yeah.
Correct.
There you
Correct.
go.
If they don't like it, it's very good.
All right, Mr. Weber, what would you like to share?
Okay. Just quickly, some updates on some little projects I've shared before.
Ferrari.
Christopher may like that.
Yeah, I do.
It's a 1/32 scale Ferrari 121 LM resin casting, and I finally got it to where I could put some color on it. It's of course not finished yet, but it's coming along. And then I also have my Corvette Stinger.
Oh,
Inco Stingers coming along. It's just gaining a little momentum here and there. And
is that also a resin body, John?
Yes, both of those came from eBay. I think they were like $10 or $12 a piece. But boy, they're a lot of work. There's lots of work you have to do to them. And there was a lot of the detail on the Corvair kind of disappears when you start trying to smooth it out. You just can't possibly maintain all the detail. And then there's Bergman 1/32 scale Ferrari Dino 246 SP body, and the Bergman, as it came, the front end was practically flat, and the signature sharp nose grill area or openings in the front end were misshapen, and so I've been trying to work that down some, and it's some things have to change. A lot of the interior and these large plastic ribs need to come out because they're just too heavy, or a lot of it does. So anyway, yeah, that's it. That's all I had. Thanks.
All right, thanks, John. And it looks like we're ready to do some Club Corner. So if you have some past, present, or future racing you want to talk about, Marco's holding up his real hand, but if we'll take it first, and then we'll take anybody else who wants to talk. Go ahead, Marco.
So this Friday, NSR is releasing the new Copper Sucker Formula 1 car. And I have some bragging rights there because it was based on a car that I was racing, and I asked them to do it. So let me see if I can share my screen here. You guys seeing my screen? No?
Now, after you click share.
Here. There we go. There we go.
There we go.
So this is the new Copper Sucker from NSR. Copper Sucker, for those who don't know, it's a Brazilian Formula 1 team that Emerson Fittipaldi founded with his brother Wilson. On the next year, after he won the Formula 1 championship with the McLaren.
When is this car from?
I'm sorry?
From what time is this car from? 80s?
No, it's 77 or 78. So this is this is actually the F05, based on F05, because of course the NSR has a generic body type. The number 16 actually doesn't exist. If you guys want to buy one, buy the number 14, which this is the one that Emerson run. They have only one car on the grid this year. Emerson just gave up on the McLaren. That's a 76 actually, because 76 is the year that
but look on the size and the shape of the car. They were in the future. If you see,
no. If you go and search online, the car is completely different. It's just like a livery that NSR used on their generic 80, 78, 90 body. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is if you've never raced one of those, I think they're the best cars to race around. They're super fun to drive. We have one of those classes on the Far Out Club. It's literally one of my favorite classes. We have a lot of fun running those. I don't know how to. Okay, screen sharing. What I do is stop share. Okay, so this is one of the best classes to race. It's a lot of joy to race it. I think Jim Rose agrees with me.
I guess so.
Yeah. So I have some bragging rights. Like 1 year ago, I asked Lineo Fernandez, the guy who runs Interlagos, who does those replica helmets, 132nd scale helmets, and I asked him to make, because this guy is very talented. So I asked him to do one for me to race at the Far Out. So this is the original Gangster.
Look more from the original.
Yeah. So this is the car that he closed the scoops on the side. He make this whole one color, but I have to design the graphics because he didn't have the graphics, and the graphics that NSR use are mine. I sent to them. So I have a little. I'm kind of happy that they approach. I'm proud that they're doing the only Brazilian F1 car ever. And just to finish the story, I was in Germany a couple of months ago, and I went to the Technik Museum in close to Hamburg, to Stuttgart. And as soon as I walk in, I knew that they had some Formula 1 cars, and I saw the car. The only example was right there. So it's kind of
Emerson's car?
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah. It was actually at the wall by the entrance.
That's good.
Was kind of a freak for me. Was kind of a shock because those cars, Emerson, as you know, he lost a lot of money. He didn't have, couldn't keep a lot of the cars. The cars were trashed. So he was kind of it was kind of a surprise for me to go there and see that car. But anyway, just to close, NSR is releasing this guy on Friday. We just got the boxes at Electrogene Granada at the store right now. But this is going to be a big thing. It's a special car. I'm proud about to have a Brazilian car completely in the NSR grid. I love this class. I think they're fun to race, and it's a new release. On Friday will be available.
Bring some to Modesto on Saturday.
There you go.
There you go. Saturday we have a Far Out race at the store.
Yeah, but you could sell stuff up here.
Oh yeah, there you go. Let me show. Since I'm here, let me use a little bit more of the time.
You didn't take any picture of the museum?
I'm sorry?
You didn't take any picture?
Oh yeah, I have it. I couldn't find it. I can find in 2 minutes. Let me see.
Because it's a history car, you know.
Yeah, it was almost here. Let's see. Spear. So I can find while we talk. So February 3, no. Yeah, maybe
His photo album is organized like mine.
Jesus.
But when you have 52,000 pictures, you know.
Yeah, no, it's more than that actually. But I have it here. Hold on.
Marco, they need to do a special edition with a proper Fittipaldi helmet.
Yes, so that's why we're selling the Interlagos helmet. So we're gonna offer the car with the helmet. So I think you guys can see here.
Yeah.
The car was against the wall.
Yes.
Was a pretty crazy.
I think you were very surprised when you saw it.
Yeah. I couldn't leave. It was literally at the entrance, and I couldn't leave the entrance. Like, what the hell is going on?
I understand that.
So the car is from
Emerson was a very, very nice guy.
Yes.
You know.
The car is from 1978. And again, the NSR car is just they're just using the livery to put on the generic body type. Since you guys are here, let me just since I'm taking your time, let me share one more thing. And I know I always watch you guys. I never could figure out the time to jump in. Now Greg put together a Facebook group. Now I know where the link is, so if I'm available, I can jump in. But I always watch during the night your conversation, and I really appreciate when you guys bring up Electric Dreams. When Greg was here a couple of weeks ago sharing his racing skills with us as a surprise. D1, I guess I'm seeing you this Saturday, right? Let me know if you're coming by the LAX, so we can pick you up.
No, I'm gonna go ahead and drive in. So I can
driving, all right. So every month this year, we're celebrating 30 years. So every month this year, we're gonna have a special car release. Always on the last day of the year, last day of the month. In January, we have a remake of the 10 miles of GT40 with Fly. Fly didn't want to do it. I found a loophole where the car started the race with gold wheels on the fronts and silver wheels on the back. So I kind of found this loophole to reproduce the car, and Fly agreed with me. So we made like a special edition that was January. In February, we made another GT40 with NSR using a modern fantasy livery, like a modern Golf one. And we also offered a race version, copying the setup of the car that won the Christmas Enduro. So we're sold out with the race version, thank God, because I had to set up 30 cars. But we still have some of the normal GT40 modern Golf livery. This month, we're coming with something very special that I want to show you guys because it's going out for sale this Friday. It's Racer Sideways. Racer Sideways. Where is it right now? Here. Let me try to share the screen again. Racer Sideways McLaren 720S. Painted by Mark Antonio Maestri from Spain. You guys can see my screen, yes, right?
Yeah.
And this is it. Marlboro livery, Senna tribute. We designed the Senna helmet here on the side fin of the car. It says Electric Dream.
Smoking hot.
Carries number 12 from Senna. Have more pictures. It's going to be a limited edition of 30. One is going to the museum, so we'll have only 29 available. And that's it. It's hand painted. It's beautiful. The clear coat is perfect. This guy makes an incredible job. I've been trying to do a second version with him with another car for December. He's booked till almost the middle of 2024. So it's really a thing, and it's a Racer Sideways car, a two-piece pod. The cars, if you know how to set up a car, this can be a very, very, very fast car. It carries a 17K motor, and it doesn't. It's good. It's great to drive out of the box. Again, that's the car. It's full of detail. We're gonna have only 30, and this is the release for March. In the future, we're gonna see more stuff from NSR, from Fly, from Scale Auto, from Slotted, from Oliver, a very special car, and from Modelant. Actually, in April, the next one, it's the Modelant car, which is a big surprise, a completely new mold, handmade. Those guys from Spain. And in May, we are racing the WRE 24-hour racing in Italy with an SR. And Michael Nimas made the design for the car, for the Porsche 908 that we're racing. And as you know, Michael Nimas is probably the #1 modeler in the world. He's going to be racing with us. And he actually, last week, he was crowded national German champion for 1/32 scale. So he's joining our team. The team is,
it's going to be you and Dennis and Michael.
Yeah, the team it's a 24-hour race, so we have stints of 45 minutes. So the team is me, Michael Nimas, Elliot Hernandez from Hobby Classic, who is a guy who knows a lot about racing on Lincoln track. Dennis Sanson, that you guys know.
Yeah.
Eddie Shore, that you probably guys know too, which is one of the top racers we have here, 1/32 scale. And Rick Jokan, who is the 5-time national champion for AGO and the actual
Very fast guy.
And the slotted champion for this year, national champion too. So we have this car. So Michael, we've been working on that since October. And Michael designed a Porsche 908, and I kind of pull a trick here because I want to give some money to the racers to pay the flights and the hotels and stuff like that. So I'm reproducing the car that we're gonna race with an SR, and we're gonna sell that car to make money to pay for the trip.
But you know that you have the best builder in the world.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's a heck of a team.
Yeah,
Let's give some time. Sorry to interrupt. We're running low on time, so let's give some time for Club Corner racing reports to Big Dan and Mike and other people. So, Mike, why don't you go ahead and talk about your recent activities?
Well, it's short and sweet this week. Only had one other guy besides me, and it was, speaking of Henry's little tire cleaner, I lost the race because I picked up a goober and sent me off about 3 extra times and shook the car for quite a while. And I didn't realize it was just a piece of tire. I thought something was going on. And it cost me the 1 lap on a race, and I finished about 3/4 of a lap behind. So that was a close race. Other than that, Mike won that race and one other one, and I won the middle one. So it was a fun day anyway. And we were racing with ghost cars again, so that always made it interesting. He's just decided he's going to run the inside lane so he doesn't have to deal with the ghost car. It's kind of funny. But hey, yeah, it was a good time anyway. We had a great time. So that's all. Short and sweet.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Go ahead, Big Dan.
Okie dokie. Right, so we were back to racing down here in northern Tasmania last week at our stylised name, Lagana Seca, because for those who haven't seen it before, Lagana is a little satellite suburb just north of Launceston, where I live. Only 6 of us there. Thankfully, a couple of the ladies helped us out with the marshalling, so that made things a little bit more enjoyable. You might see some funny cars in some of the classes, and you think, that's not an under 2 litre something or other, but we do need to make some concessions to people, who haven't got a full kit of cars. So that's a better look at the track. Started off with predominantly Revo slot under 2 litre cars, or class 2, are they? Class 2 or something. The one at the back is a locally built brass chassis with a Scalextric latest Cortina body on it. The guy has got a Revo slot Escort, but when he ran it, it sounded like a meat grinder, so he quickly pulled it off the track to something that didn't sort of offend our delicate hearing. And there's the results. I'm still failing to shine in this class. Anyway, it was a good, enjoyable, some close racing there. The scores don't always say that. Moving on to slotted Group C. Better news for me here. That's my car at the front. Again, we've got an interloper there with the Nissan 390 that's not quite in the class. The car at the back is, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that the guy who won the class a couple of weeks ago pinched his little daughter's car and won the race. She said to Dad, I wanted back for this particular event. So, but what I didn't realise until they pointed it out to me the other day, it's actually got a Scar electric motor in it. And so he won the race a couple of weeks ago with a Scar electric motor against the slotted cars. So I'm not claiming any particular skills, but I did set that car up and sell it to his daughter.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think it's a slotted chassis, a slotted motor. This is one of the first generations. They come with a white end bell and kind of silver chromish can. So it might look like a Scalextric, but it's a slotted motor.
Yeah, I'll recheck it this week, Marco, and just let you know. So, but I know I did set up a couple of low-powered cars just to make it easy for people to drive. But I'll recheck that. I know that slotted does have a variety of end bell colours, or have had over the years. So the next bit, we'll leave that one up there for about 10 minutes because I've actually won something.
Good job.
Yeah, and yeah, that was an enjoyable race. It was pretty a lot of door handle to door handle racing, but respectful racing where people weren't taking each other out. So that was a pretty nice aspect of the day. And finally to GT2s. Pretty much all Revo slots there. Apart from the one at the back, which is an SCX Seat Cupra. Again, it's sort of built to be a nice stable car for the young lass to drive, and she does it pretty well. The white car, the Marcos in third spot there, was from our friend Scotty from Hobart, who travels up regularly to our meetings, and he let the young lass have a bit of a drive it after. She went pretty well, so she might be asking Dad for a Revo next birthday or something like that. And again there, Dave just managed to shaded me easily, but we did get equal best lap scores, but again, a pretty enjoyable day, and that's just about it, I think. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Okay. Next lucky shooter.
Thanks, Ben. I'll just do a quick one from myself. We raced at Rogers Track, which is a 8x20 4-lane Scalextric Sport plastic track. I have not posted video yet, but I did take some clips of racing as I have in the past. I'll put those on my YouTube channel soon. But the thing of note was that the King of the Hill car was the West Boys tuned GT40 from Electric Dreams, and it's a fast car. It's super fast, and obviously it's not tuned for Scalextric Sport track, so that deep guide was riding the bottom of the slot and making clicky clacking noises on all the little holes in the slot at the bottom of the Scalextric Sport slot, but it ran just fine. Minor friction induced by the guide riding the bottom of the slot. But it with those NSR tires, it hooks up real nice with Scalextric Sport track, and such a low center of gravity with a chunk of weight in there, and it was just a fabulous car. I don't remember what my times were. I think they were, not that it matters since it's I don't remember the length of the track, but I think we're all hovering around 7 seconds, which is pretty fast for that track, especially non-magnet. But yeah, they were all suitably impressed by that car, and no shelf queens. That car took a bunch of tumbles because if you're not used to that kind of car, you cook some turns. So there's a lot of rolling going on. So I guess one of the questions that I had forgotten because I didn't memorize the specs was, obviously we could see that the motor was a 21K. What was the gear ratio? I thought it was geared up for speed, but I forgot.
Yeah, it was based on the 1535 or something that Ian raced. So we have there 15.
Yeah.
I want to say 1535 or 1536.
Yeah. So very close.
I tested every single car. I did like at least 20-25 laps, and if I feel that the car was running short on the straight, I'll put a 35 on it. So some of the cars, they have the green, some of the cars have the blue one. So I changed one. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So almost 2 to 1, basically. Pretty close. So yeah, it's a very fast car. Everybody had to turn up the brakes, and it's with our King of the Hill. You get to watch everybody race the car, and then you get your turn later on. So, right off the get-go, I'm like, this is geared high. Turn your brakes up. But no, everybody drives the car a little bit, and then like, wow, I really got to turn my brakes up. Like, I said that. That's fine. I said that. I didn't say that for fun. I said that to help you. I'm a nice guy. But anyway,
but Greg, as you know, that car was set up for our track, so it has a long straight and it's very low wooden surface. Yeah.
Yep, I said that many times as well. But like I said, it still ran great on that track. This coming Monday, we'll be running on a wood track, much smaller than the Electric Dreams track, but still a wood track. So it'll benefit from those wood track tunings and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. I took a couple. I definitely got at least one of the King of the Hill runs of that car. So that'll be on the video that I share. But otherwise, yeah, had fun racing. We did our first of the Trans Am series, so we're running Pioneer or Scalextric Classic Trans Ams. Most people are running Pioneers for obvious reasons, but there were a couple of Scalextrics that were doing pretty good. I won that race mostly due to attrition because we had basically just come off of an IROC using slotted Ferrari 33.3s. So they drove completely different than the Trans Am. So everybody was used to driving those tiny little slotteds, and then even though they practiced with their Trans Am beforehand, they had to get used to driving the Trans Ams again. So I won through attrition, but a win's a win. Racing's racing. So that's pretty much it for me. And I know Henry wants to share something. Wayne, do you have a short one?
Yeah, it's a Club Corner one. As most of you are probably aware, we have the biggest digital slot car race in the world this upcoming weekend. It's the Le Mans 24-hour. I intend to go there. I'm not in a team. I just throw that out there. That's all I can tell you at the moment.
All right, looking forward to it. That's a big event. What's the weekend again? It's not this weekend, is it?
Yes, it's 31st.
It is
Friday.
Oh, okay. So just in a couple of days here. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's practice, and then the race starts Saturday.
Awesome. Then we're looking forward to your Club Corner next week. Maybe we'll do a special edition Oxygen Race Club Corner. But we do have an oxygen-related Club Corner. Henry wanted to share what happened in his neck of the woods. Do you want to talk about it? Do you want me to just go straight into the video?
Yeah, go straight into the video.
Okay.
Let's say more.
There are many of us that won't have seen this.
I think I forgot to share my audio, so you might just have to hear whatever it is.
What was the print time for your trophy, Henry?
3 hours.
That's not too bad. There's no audio in this section.
All cars with Oliver chassis.
Did anybody prep their own car, or was it all prepped by you?
3 are mine, and the rest is they're made by the rest of it. And there were 21 members. Teams of 3.
This link will be in the description, so if you want to watch it later on, you'll be able to click that. That was a pretty good start.
Yep. Only one have to refuse to go, so we help them over there. And of course, Sebastian, the Dutch driver, was at the front. He didn't stay there. But here you can see it's only a 2-lane, but you have 9 meters per car. So there's a lot of space on the track.
Are they the stock Linko chassis underneath there?
No, it's Oliver chassis. And the rest is an SRP motor, 20,000. And the rest is slotted.
Nope.
So those were spec parts. Were they also a spec gear ratio?
Yeah. No, not real. The regulation says it has to drive until 27 kilometers per hour. So that's where the test bench is coming in.
Did you want me to skip around at all, or?
Yeah, you can skip it to the slow motion parts of it. And there is something nice to see, because you think you're driving like very respectful, but if you see them in slow motion, you see what the tires do. They go from left to right, right to left.
Yeah, that black car's all over the place.
And you think you have grip.
That circuit looks very, very rubber, didn't Henry?
This is a wooden part in the Carrera track.
I get you.
And this is the overview of my space. Small Dinko track, the car track, and the big one. And this is what you're getting to if you are a marshal. You have to watch out for another car. Like, watch it, okay, nothing's coming on. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, this one gets mullered, doesn't it?
It's so much more fun, this. And in 6 hours, the cars did great. I was second place in my team. And we have a Digi team, and double T team was with Sebastian, of course. We had Marcel Minardi from O2 over here. And some guys who normally drive Carrera. You can skip this until the end for the last photo. Because I want to show how much this photo. So that's a lot of guys, and you have to all give them food and drinks the whole day. But we have a laugh. And it was a big success, and yeah, we're going to do it again.
Looked like a great event.
And this was my failure. It broke down, and it cost me 30 laps.
That completely smashed.
Yeah. So
Spotting plus.
Yeah.
Scale auto. Yeah, scale auto.
Scale auto. That's what I meant to say. I apologize. Yeah, scale auto.
Otherwise, we have win the race. Almost. Maybe.
Nice report. Thanks, Henry.
Thank you. It was a blast, and we see more and more people who love oxygen. That's why I do those races, to gather around people who don't race oxygen normally, and I will help them. I will help them with cars. I will help them in the race, and we got more enthusiastic people for oxygen. And
yeah, there's more events.
Yeah, you can see it grows. This year I'm going to, in June, I'm going to Spain for an oxygen race. So yeah, it's the rumor around the brand. It's getting better and better.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And we've got a few minutes left. Anybody else have any Club Corner things they want to share? Or
I was going to ask Wayne. So where is the 24-hour Le Mans this year? Is it in
England.
It's gonna be England.
Yeah, what part?
Yeah, it's in a central town called a central city called Derby. It used to be about 50 miles further south, but the facility, the hall that it was hosted in, was no longer available to us. Unfortunately, the 24-hour analog HO race that inspired the disc event in the first place, they no longer run their HO 24-hour, and so the whole availability was there for us to kind of step into. Fortunately,
Are you going to race with Tamar then?
yes, he's one of the stalwarts of the event. He'll be at every one till the last, and yeah, he'll be there again this week.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the same location as last year, then, right? How many teams do they have? Do you know?
I believe that the entry is at 12 teams at the moment.
But did you say you didn't have a team now?
That's correct. Unfortunately, the team that I started to build fell through.
And how are you going to compete then?
I am going to be available to any team that suffers from a non-attendance and wishes to supplement their team with an additional driver.
Okay.
So you're not going to race with Tamar this year?
I'm sorry, Krista, what was that?
Are you going to race with Tamar this year, or he bring a new team to the race?
Well, I'm afraid a similar thing befell Tamar in regards to the drivers that he believed he had around him to generate his team for this year. And what he's done is he's contacted his local teams, of which I believe there are 2, and he's joined a team, and fortunately for him, they're going to use the car that he's prepared. He's not the captain. He's just one of the drivers, and they've chosen to adopt and develop one of the cars that he had in his armory, and a BMW M8 that I've seen it run. He's been developing it for a little while. He's made a few changes. Latest variation on it apparently is really, really good. It ran pretty darn well in Suzuka, where I last saw it in January. I'm sure it will have undergone a few more changes since then. So, yeah, I think that's one of the teams to look out for. I would certainly put them down for a top half of the field, maybe even on the podium.
Yeah, they are good. Fula, is he coming this year?
No, I haven't seen Fola since 2019, I think.
Okay.
And I think there's only been one event since then. So yes, I haven't seen him recently.
I spoke Sebastian yesterday, and he's coming.
Yes, Sebastian is. Sebastian is in there. Again, I don't think he's doing the car prep. I think he's turning up to drive. But yes, there are the Dutch teams and there's a Dutch team and a Belgian team, and they are not coming to waste their time. It's a big investment. It's a big commitment, and they come to race. And there is a couple of British teams that are likewise. There are at least 4, possibly 5 teams that I've looked at in the listing that could easily win, and it'd be difficult to choose a favourite.
Do they keep the same circuit layout from year to year? Do they switch it up, or?
No, it's absolutely always the same, and it's even the same track pieces. The track pieces only come out for this one event, and then they go away, and no one gets to take the track apart from the organizer. And this track is very, very good condition Ninko track, and it's consistent, and it's year in, year out the same layout.
Yeah. I was curious about that.
24 hours. Man.
Yes, we say 24 hours, but 24 hours is only the race. The event is actually 3 days.
Yeah.
The only night you need a room for is the Friday night, because with the hall opening at 11 a.m. on Friday, the track will be in use in 90-minute segments from about midday. And there's a qualifying session that takes place Friday evening, early evening. And in that session, they switch the lights off, and all the drivers in all the teams have to do laps in the dark. They have to register the fact that they've done laps in the dark. And then Saturday morning qualifying is the second qualifying session, and it's the best single lap time from either session, which sets your grid position. And that obviously then gives you choice of your position on the rostrum.
Wow. So Sunday it must smell like a locker room from a hockey arena.
No, if we do radio control racing, it smells hell.
Everybody will want to smell wintergreen after that.
All right, well, we got 10 minutes left for other topics. If anybody has anything they want to circle back on or bring up or share or whatever.
Is Brian still? Oh, sorry. I was going to say,
Sorry,
Brian, go ahead. Sorry.
Just because I know there are people who will be interested. Something I forgot to mention is that we are racing this event on Oxygen 4.0, which is the second time it was trialed in January. And I know it's been used at other events successfully since, but it will be a first for the Le Mans 24 to adopt the Oxygen 4.0, and we'll see how that goes.
But you know, I love long distance racing. I have done that in radio control. I have done it in cars in 124 and 132. It's very interesting because it's a long time. You have to be sharp, the team. You know.
Wayne, are you going to race with the SCP3?
There certainly will be teams. It is permitted, I believe.
Okay, then you have.
They will be forced to hook up to the rostrum power supply, so they'll need the power supply adapter cartridge.
You have to watch
the
out.
SCP3 is legal.
We have to watch out with there is a bug in it still, I think. And on SCP3, if you put them on linear, you have to check if you have all the power.
Yes, I think I'm aware, but I'm not fully up to speed with the detail of that.
That was the last discussion I had 2-3 weeks ago in Best, and they did find a bug over there. And now I know why my car has had on that race about 80% of the power.
So only for 4? Does that still fall back to some of the other non-oxygen for the SCP3?
I think that's specifically for the SCP3 using Oxygen 4.0, right, Henry?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. And I expect that if Gary has agreed or allowed that 24 is going to be running 4.0, that he's confident in it.
Yeah.
So,
well, Maurizio is also on hand, and that gives.
Well, sure, but there's still.
I'm not going to do
it. Obviously, did good enough in the previous. It obviously did well enough in the recent events that Gary said, "Yeah, okay, let's do it."
Yeah,
I mean,
it has to be.
There were at the Suzuka race. There were some very typical oxygen-related issues, some of which were surrounding the Hall sensor, and there are developments in that direction. But the only part that really tripped up, in my opinion, was the race management system, the latest race management system. And on that score, I haven't got a clue what we'll be running at Le Mans. It could be Oxygen 4 with the old grey chrono, not the black one. Chrono 02, that's what it's called, isn't it?
I hope sincerely that it's good now, because if I've been asked to go there, and it costs you 500 euros. It costs you 4 or 5 days of at home, and when the software doesn't do what it has to do, then you're fucked up.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, we've come the other direction and had similar issues, haven't we? I mean, we came to Suzuka and our cars did everything perfectly through qualifying, and then as soon as we started the actual race, it was counting 2 laps every lap, and we had to do a whole sensor replacement, and we were pretty much straight away.
That was your advantage.
Yeah, but this is Oxygen Digital. I mean, things don't always work perfectly, but we always manage to get a pretty good event out of the 24. Even I mean, I've seen it stopped. I've seen it restarted. There's always a ways around, you know.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right. Well, looking forward to hearing about that.
Well, over here it was 6 hours running and no on lap counter, and no problem at all. Not once.
Nice.
Yeah.
Were you using 4.0 or 3.0?
3.0. Yeah. I'm only going to 4.0 when everything is out.
Yeah, fully released, not testing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even tried 4.0 stuff yet, so. All right, well, anything else, or should I just hit the stop button?
Well, I just, if Brian's still here, so I just found something that might be of some interest to him. If I can just share screen here a little bit.
I think he's still here.
This is from the 60s. Just to show the kind of deal that Brian got in the 60s, one of those sets was $100. Isn't that awesome?
Right.
So well done, Brian. Well done.
Yeah, you could get a 66 Impala for about $2,000.
What's $100 in the 1960s worth nowadays? Because that sounds
it's about $800, but $800 roughly.
Yeah, 8 times.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was paying over $250 for most of my sets that I was getting. I probably about 30 sets. So he's got the equivalent of about 4 or 5 sets for $250. He got a bargain.
However, if the guy who sold it to him is watching this, you better hide.
Yeah, from your wife.
It's funny. I'm searching Ravel slot car layouts, and I'm scrolling, and I look over, and there's this YouTube old Ravel slot car. There's a picture of Dewan staring back at me.
Yeah, YouTube says $100 in 1962 is equivalent to $996.16 today.
Wow. Okay, there you go. Yeah, this was 64 or 65. So yeah, okay, there you go. I was off
pretty
by
close.
wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Is that Canadian dollars though?
Oh, yeah. Who needs the stock market? We've got Track.
Can you imagine that going out nowadays though, and going into a toy shop and finding that on the shelf for about $1,000? You wouldn't look twice, would you?
But what the most surprised me is the quality of the stuff. It's
rock solid.
It's 100. It's 80 years old.
Well, no, it's 60 years old. It's 60 years old.
And you can still run it.
It's from the time when they made Kodacolor film, which, you know, the EPA came along and said, you can't use these chemicals. Kodak changed the formula. They went to different kind of film, and photography never recovered from that.
Yeah, well, some things are carcinogenic for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is.
Anytime Brian starts talking about having gone to a slot car show or a trade show of some sort, we know he's going to come back.
We have it every 4 months. Though I guess they're going to do some upgrades to the facility they're holding them in, so we may not have an August one. I may have to wait again until November. Of course, it may take me that long to clean the track too. So.
Well, I also noticed that you didn't tell us about it beforehand, but only after the fact.
Well, what I tell you,
some need people going in and scooping up steals.
I'm not quite sure what I was supposed to tell you before the fact, there, John.
Hey, come and take my deals.
Hey, Dewan, were you aware of this show? That's all I want to know. That's
after the fact. Yeah.
It's the same show I go to every time, guys. I don't know how many times I've had to say it. We have it every 4 months.
I mean, I still need to send people links to the chat. I posted this chat links, you know, hundreds of times almost, and people still are like, I can't find the chat. Right. On that note, I'm going to hit the end stream button on YouTube.
I have a question for you.
You want to get this on the YouTube stream?
Well, I had a question of something I don't know if we want to consider putting together, but I always thought it would be nice to have a source reference on all the things that we've kind of come up with here. I like to commission Greg to put a book together and summarize all the tips and tricks. And when you come up there, when you talk about the tire true earlier, and different.
You don't got enough money.
We could turn it into a coffee table book that unfolds into a slot car track.
All right. Well, we can talk about some of that some other time. I'm going to hit end stream until next week, everybody. Bye. 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 YouTube says bye.